Hi, I'm Nirvana.
And I'm Mike.
And we are Nirvana Photography Studio. So you have contacted us looking for a wedding photographer or cinematographer. And it's actually surprisingly difficult, isn't it?
We get it. We've been there ourselves. We see it all the time. You go online, you go on Google, you check out the online wedding directories. Friends and family give you their recommendations, and you end up with like dozens of different options for photographers. Some charge $500, some charge $7,000 and even more. There's so many different products to choose from. And don't forget, there's always Uncle Pete who just got a new camera for Christmas, and the pictures on his website actually look kind of nice. And he's bugging you to shoot his wedding anyway because he really wants to try this baby out. So why even bother hiring a photographer in the first place?
Wow, I am exhausted just listening to all of that. We have decided to help you out. We have seen this many times with our wedding couples. We know exactly what you're going through. So we've come up with a plan. We suggest that you focus on the following 4 categories. First one is style. The second one is personality. The third one is consistent quality. And the fourth, last but not least, the budget.
So let's start by talking about style. Every photographer is going to make your wedding look different. For example, our style is very fashion inspired and glamorous. We're going to make you look like the bride on the cover of a magazine. So you want to look at a photographer's portfolio and you want to think by yourself, yes, that's exactly how I want to look like. That's exactly how I want my wedding to look like. You have to make that connection, otherwise it's probably not your photographer. So that step alone is going to weed out the list of available photographers for you and can possibly be done online. Then, however, you're going to have to look at
personality. Besides your wedding planners, the photographers are going to be the ones that you spend the most time with. They are the ones that are going to be there from the very beginning to the very end of your wedding day. It is important that you call them and you meet with them. When you meet, you're able to establish then a connection. You're able to figure out whether you're going to have compatible personalities, because it is very important to have that connection. You know, you gotta have fun. You gotta be able to be natural. You gotta have the best time in your wedding and in your life, and the photographers are going to have to be able to capture those moments. So if you don't have a connection, it's not gonna happen. So really, gotta be compatible. So when you meet them, you can also then start to investigate the third category, which is going to be
consistent quality. Nowadays, it's so easy and cheap to buy a good-looking website, but you have no real guarantee that your wedding pictures are going to turn out the same way than they look in the portfolio. So you take quite the leap of faith when you hire a wedding photographer. So that's one of the reasons, by the way, why you hire a professional and not Uncle Pete. But regardless, when you meet with your photographer, make sure you don't just look at a few selected pictures, make sure you look at a whole wedding. Look at all the pictures and make sure that the quality and style are consistent throughout. Mm-hmm. Also, get references, talk to former brides and grooms and make sure they are fun to work with, and make sure that you do whatever it takes to get the confidence that your photographer can actually deliver what they promise. That brings us to the last category, the one that nobody really likes to think about, which is
budget. Budget. How do you budget for your photographer? Well, it's the same as budgeting for anything else that's in your wedding. You first have to ask yourself, how important is photography for me? If you are okay with having photos done and posting them on Facebook and never really looking at them again, then it is okay for you to find a low-budget photographer who will do just that. Or the option of Uncle Pete always is available.
Yeah, it's really okay. However, if you want to create something truly unique, if you want somebody who captures your vision of your wedding, of the most important day of your life, if you want somebody who is at the end of the day, we're more than just photographers. Look at everything that we talked about before. So if you want somebody who creates something truly unique, something that nobody else has and that you can look back on after years and say, wow, this was the best day of my life and I completely remember how I felt at that very moment, yes, then you have to hire a professional and you have to budget accordingly. Because at the end of the day, the old saying still applies, you get what you pay for.
Well, that's it. I hope that you've enjoyed watching our video. Focusing on these 4 categories will help you make a decision in finding a photographer. We would love to sit down with you and get to know you and also hear about your big day.
So give us a call and visit us at our studio. See
you
you
soon.
soon.